Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's an international keynote speaker and an expert on accessibility. Her incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, when I wrote my book some 20 years ago, I had to overcome the fear of public speaking. And at one point, I gave up to 300 speeches a year in addition to my TV job. Well, they always say the number one fear in life is public speaking. The number two fear is fear of death. And I've died on stage, so I've accomplished both. But somebody who's overcome many more hurdles than I ever could dream of overcoming is my next guest. Meryl Evans. She is a speaker and accessibility marketing consultant. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Yes. Well, I'm so impressed with you. As I was preparing the show, you've done TED Talks. I mean, you've been all over the place. Tell us a little about your journey. When did you become a speaker?
So in 2018, things got a little slow in my marketing business, and some clients have been asking me to make video. And I'm thinking, I'm not so sure, because I was realistic. I have an accent that here from nowhere you can travel. It's a deaf accent because I was born profoundly deaf. So I made a really short video and the response was amazing. And then over time I was making videos about marketing, but it put me on the other side of captioning. So I've been using captioning most of my life. And this time I was creating the caption. So I started making videos about creating quality captions, because there's more to captions than just putting them on. So quality matters. So eventually the people at a conference saw my video and invited me to present at the conference in 2019. And it's the very same conference where I'm going to be a keynote speaker next month. I'm very excited about that. So I appreciate they gave me my start, and people saw me speak there and invited me to speak at their event, and it just snowballed from there. So that told me my accent was fine. They just cared about the content I delivered.
Absolutely, and you're very entertaining when you speak. We found her sizzle reel. Let's go ahead and roll that.
What would you do if you meet someone who is deaf or can't understand you? Let's start by making a habit to communicate at least 2 different ways. We cannot go back to the old way of doing things. We need to create a new normal. A lot of people feel overwhelmed when they're trying to get started with accessibility. And I must say, just remember progress over perfection. Just get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just take that first step. One person cannot represent the entire disability category. When you've met one deaf person, you've met one deaf person. We're all different. Include people with disabilities throughout the entire product development process. Accessibility matters because it gives people choices. Diversity without inclusion is exclusion. Don't forget, accessibility is not just for the consumer, it's also for your employees. To truly make the company care about accessibility and build a culture of accessibility needs to start at the top like everything else.
I mean, just so inspirational. Congratulations on your speaking success. I want to ask you, because you're passionate about closed captioning, but you told me before the show that closed captioning makes a lot of mistakes, even with your name.
Yes, it's a good and bad problem to have. More and more apps and tools are out there to automatically caption your video, and it makes it faster, so it saves time. But people are forgetting to do the other part of that process, and that's editing the caption. So, for example, when you were in school, you wrote essays. You never turned in the first draft of your essay as a final draft, right? You always had to edit them at least once. Captions are the same way when you use automatic captions. You've got to edit them before you post them. And yes, with a name like mine, even though Meryl Streep is very famous, it gets it wrong a lot. Everything from meow to Maryland to my personal favorite, marijuana, not because of the drug, but I hope people are high on my talks.
Absolutely, they're high on your talks. We're gonna roll some more video of you speaking, and let's talk about the kinds of audiences that bring you in. Is there a common theme to the types of companies and associations who invite you to speak?
Most of the time, it's companies that care about accessibility and disability inclusion. If they don't care about it yet, they're not going to bring me in. They're not going to seek me out. But one of the most willing keynotes I've ever given was to the American Marketing Association. I was very excited about that because I've been wanting to reach marketing leaders. It's so easy to make your marketing content accessible, and it will help you reach a broader audience, which is what every marketer wants, right? More people seeing their content.
And what do you see in your crystal ball for the next few years? Do you see more companies and associations bringing in speakers like yourself because they're just aware that people come in all shapes and sizes, and this is an audience that has been overlooked for many years?
I would hope so, but I'm realistic. It's going to take time, but I think captioning is really helping a lot, bringing accessibility to the forefront, because more and more companies are putting caption in their conference, in their meeting. My local chamber had caption at one of their events. The TEDx Plano had caption this year. They didn't have the tools to do it when I was on TEDx Plano, but now they do. So that's very exciting. So it's showing up in more places and normalizes accessibility. That's my hope anyway. And hopefully it'll grow from there.
And are you a fan of AI? Do you like the promise of AI?
It has a good point and a bad point. There's a lot of work to be done. I mean, as we all know, it likes to make up things. So I decided to give it a little shot. I mean, I've had content on the web since the 90s. I'm telling you, a long time. And it was just making up articles and books I wrote. And yeah. So, but it has potential. I mean, automatic caption is a great example. I've got caption going on my phone right now, so I can know what the producer has to say, because the producer is not present in the room with that, so it helps here. But it is also a concern because of bias, and a lot of data does not include people with disabilities, so it's going to be a big problem. For example, a friend of mine did a search for people who are autistic, and the result of the images showed a bunch of young white men in their teens and 20s looking depressed. And there's so much more to autism than that. And even women get it, and you can be older and happy. So that's just an example of AI bias.
Yes. Well, you've been an amazing guest. We're going to have you back again soon. And thank you so much for just educating us and sharing your heart.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff.
You bet. We're going to end with her LinkedIn page. Go ahead and get a hold of her for all your speaking and consulting needs. The great Meryl Evans. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.